Hey, shalom, shalom, all praise. I want to give all praise into Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakadash, Brakti, Yahweh, Brakti, Yahushai, Brakti, Yahweh, Brakti, Yahushai, Brakti, Yahweh, Brakti, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakadash, for this truth, knowledge, and wisdom, and this understanding. We give double honors to our apostle and elders, which apostle their great millstone. You go for the left out there, keep fighting, keep pushing. Yeah, this is a quick update. I just got up a little bit ago, so I was going through some news like you always got to stay active in things, man, because things are taking place, especially when it comes to prophecies in this time, man. Because the Most High set up teachers by way of the apostles and elders, men that have broke these things down to us, so we can be aware of what's taking place, and when it comes to the spirit, man. Okay, all these things that are happening on four corners of planet Earth is to get Israel out of here, man. Okay, is to get you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans up out of your captivity and your mindset that we've been put in as way of what the curses. All these things are transpiring for us to get up out of here, man. So we got to watch, man. Okay. So this is just a like you see the title. This is just going into a couple news things that are taking place concerning the RFID chip in Iran. All right. The first thing we'll deal with Iran right now because the situation with Iran is starting to heat up. Okay, because that's why we say Trump is the guy to to get us in there, man. Okay, get what? Get us into that third world war and to fulfill prophecy. That guy's he's not a normal old Edomite. Okay, he plays a role in the Most High's plans. Okay, but there's different things that you can type in. I was gonna play this. This is will U.S. and anti-Iran mana damage deal with China? Okay, because China is in bed with the Iranian government. Okay, because they take deals in a lot of the oil that's happening right now, oil trades, because the U.S. had sanctions on anybody that was buying Iranian oil. Okay, because trade wars lead to actual wars. So they're banning the oil, or they're banning, or they're putting sanctions on any government that buys oil from the Iranian government. Okay, here we go. Okay, so all we got to do is type in sanctions on Iranian oil, right? Okay, well we'll play a little bit of this right here.
Stop buying Iranian oil or face sanctions.
See that?
Will the US ultimatum stoke tensions in the Gulf? And does Donald Trump risk alienating friends and antagonizing rivals? This is Inside Story.
We'll skip around.
18. After coming from the United States government and many of our allies and partners there, similar to what we hear from the Iranian people themselves. The U.S. imposed oil sanctions on Iran in May 2018 after it withdrew from what President Donald Trump called the ineffective Iran nuclear deal. The U.S. wanted to cut off Iran's ability to support Hezbollah and Houthi fighters, as well as send aid to governments in Syria and Venezuela. Last fall, when oil supplies were tight, the U.S. gave several countries permission to wrap up their existing Iranian oil purchases by no later than May 2nd.
See, so what happened? They gave him a deal. They gave him like not furloughs, but they gave him different passes and different so-called pretty much they let them wind down, a spin down. That's what you call it. It's called a spin down. When you spin down a contract or you spin down a business deal, you know, it's the end part of it. So all the stuff is being closed. So now those same offers are not being given out to those same allies. Okay, that's why it's going to cause. It says they that have, if you read Obadiah, it says what they that eat that bread have laid a wound underneath. okay? Because these other nations are going to pretty much go behind Babylon's back, which you call America, and they're going to make backroom deals, okay, that eat their funding, and they're still going to so-called get funding from America. That's why they're going to do it on the low because they don't want to so-called mess up America's funding to their nation. That's what the main thing boils down to. Why would they listen to America? Because they're getting something out of America. That's what you got to understand. These things are fulfilling prophecy to say what that if the Most High has to put something to where these nations are going to start hating the whore. That's why it says they're going to burn her with fire. These other nations are going to shoot weapons over here because what? There's going to be animosity between them and the U.S. It's already there, okay? Because that's why you read in Jeremiah says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth?" Because the nations know that the only reason they're letting America rule because of that army might, that sword, man, which was blessed to Esau. Okay, so we'll play a little bit more of this. We'll get into some scriptures.
But now the U.S. says supplies are plentiful, and so the 5 countries still importing Iranian crude, China, India, Turkey, Japan, and South Korea, no longer have a reason to keep buying from Tehran. Conduct these transactions, one almost always needs to participate in the financial markets, and we intend to enforce the sanctions.
Because that's why it's called the petrodollar. You got to trade in dollars, man. And Iran's not trading in dollars; they're trading in their own currency, in gold, silver, different things that they're using to get their oil trade maintaining. All right. So now that's how U.S. has a oversight on the oil and who gets oil here and there because it's traded in the petrodollar. All right.
Without sanctions that we don't have any intention of encouraging countries to cooperate with. Analysts say it's important to look at the impact sanctions could have on ties between the U.S. and other countries. For example, how sanctions could derail current Chinese-American trade talks. But analysts say it's just as important to consider why the White House considers Saudi Arabia
and that's how you see, if you notice, I'm looking right here.
And not trade
that's how you know Esau's got the power because this is a Chinese president. And then look, he's wearing the same exact suit and tie as the Edomite. So that's showing who has the power right now on the planet Earth. Man. They're wearing the same exact suit. He's not wearing some kind of komodo or some kind of so-called royal Chinese garment. He's wearing a three-piece suit, man. Okay, and almost exactly identical to the Edomite dignitary, man. So that's showing you who has the power right now. That's why they got to go. All these other nations have to come under the ruling hand of Esau, man, because he's in the power seat right now. Okay, so that's pretty much on that. And then this is another video that came up. This got this magician, okay, which that's off in itself. But you got this magician, Anastasia, okay, that's trying to testify for a bill to because now in Vegas they want to make a bill that would make it illegal for you to actually microchip yourself. Okay, so the market of beast is coming to the head because it's coming in the law. That's how it's going to make everybody small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond receive that mark because it's going to be in law. It's going to be something that's going to be mandated. You're not going to be able to say, nah, I don't want to do that. No, it's going to be a mandatory thing. Okay, so I'm going to read a part of this description and then I'll play a video. It says, magician and transhumanist Anastasia Sen, and this was on April 26th. It says on April 26, 2019, before the Nevada Senate Judicial Committee in opposition to Nevada's Assembly Bill 226, AB 226. AB 226 would prohibit most implantations of NFC and RFID chips. So NFC and RFID are pretty much the same exact thing. It says including voluntary programs for such implantation. Ms. Sand demonstrates a variety of microchip technologies and their beneficial uses, as well as difficulties in using voluntary implants to actually infringe on the individual's privacy. The U.S. Transhuman Party (USTP) initially raised awareness about the AB 26, and there's even a transhuman party, man. So they actually have a party that's dedicated to the actual implantation of microchips. So that party is going to push for their agendas, and they're going to make their the bills that they want to come to pass. Okay, it's not a big party, but it's still a party. It says on AB 226 and its determinal and detrimental impact on March 19th via its article by R. Nicholas Starr. And I'm going to read that. It says the USTP through Legislative Director Justin Waters submitted a letter in opposition to AB 226 and encourages others to submit public comment and bill at the Nevada Legislative website. Anastasia Sen answered the USTP call for vocal article opposition to the 226. Okay, so pretty much we'll play a little bit of this video with this bugged out lady, and she goes in, man. Okay, because they're with it. And in Vegas, there's a lot of people that use the mind for magician's acts, which I didn't know. But we'll play here.
Hello, my name is Anastasia Sin. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm a magician.
And her name is Sin. And that's something. Check that out.
Here to oppose the bill for several reasons. I have 21 implants. 15 of those are RFID and FCMS.
She has 21 implants. 21 implants. What do you need 21 implants for?
I use them in my act. I use them to perform, and I could probably get you a list of the 50 other performers in this town that use them. I brought my door lock that I use to demonstrate how I can use it to unlock my door. But what I think the main problem here is that the majority of the people that are opposing this bill don't understand what these microchips are capable of doing. I wanted to show you how close you have to be to an NFC microchip to actually get a reading off of it. Also, to let you know, it's impossible to track anyone with a microchip. If it was possible, you would know where your lost cats and dogs are, because you could just go and find them. What microchips look like, I put my own in, and I can program them to open a website, which is when you say medical records can be acquired, that's because somebody who owns the microchip, that would be me, the person who put it in their own body, programmed it to do that. So I actually have a chip right here, for example. It says tattoo, but this is my husband, the amazing Jonathan. He's a Las Vegas entertainer.
All right, with this, you see the madness that this woman is pretty much going into, and saying that the chip is benefiting her, and that's what they're pretty much trying to push, man. Okay. All right, they're trying to push this agenda to try to say, okay, if you don't have this chip, or if the chip it so-called helps out society, but it doesn't help out society. All right, it does not help out society, period, because they're pushing that through the law, and they're going to have it pushed, man. All right, so it's just a quick update on things, man. Let me pull this scripture real quick. Pull this real quick. This is 1 Peter 4 and 7. And it says, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover multitude of sins. But the main thing is we got to be sober and watch, man, because these things are taking place to what? To show us that the Bible is true, man. Okay, it is true. The things that are taking place on the planet Earth are what? To fulfill prophecy. This is 1 Corinthians 7 and 30. It says, and they that weep as though they weep not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. It says, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Because it's getting ready to pass away. All the things you're seeing right now, the way the world is ran, the way people act, is getting ready to pass away. All right. I just wanted to do a quick update. I seen these stories this morning, and I just wanted to, bring them to light in a couple good videos. So, Lord willing, I'll post the link so you brothers can see the actual title of them right here. If you want to look it up and do more videos. So, with that, I want to give all praise into Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakar Kodash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Bashem Rakar Kodash. Shalom, Akim, keep faith.